On a cold winter day in 1944, Hitler's German army launched a last desperate offensive. The goal of this daring plan was to capture the harbor at Antwerp. By capturing the harbor, the Allies would be cut off from their supplies, and this would trap 4 Allied divisions in Belgium. The Germans then wanted to discuss a peace with the Western Allies and devote all their manpower to the fight in the Eastern Front. The Germans attacked on December 16, 1944. They aimed to hit the weakest part of the Allied lines, which was the American portion of the lines. The Americans were weak and weary from the cold, and their commanders suspected that the Ardennes was the least likely place for the Germans to launch a counterattack. When the Germans did attack, they drove the Americans back, creating a 50-mile bulge in their lines. The German blitzkrieg had worked again, and this time they headed toward the town of Bastogne. The Germans needed to control all of the 7 roads through Belgium to reach Antwerp. All 7 roads went in and out of Bastogne, which made it a vital strategic gain to either side. The Germans took 4 divisions, a total of about 110,000 troops, to Bastogne. The only thing that stood in their way was 11,800 paratroopers from the 101st and tankers from the 10th and 4th Armored Division. The odds were not in their favor, but the 101st was not going to give up that town without a fight. For 3 days the Germans tried to take the town by advancing up one of the roads into the town, but every time they were beaten back by the American forces. On the morning of the 4th day, the Germans advanced up all 7 roads and took the defenders by surprise. The Germans reached the American command post, and when they informed the 101st Commanding General, Anthony McLaughlin, of his situation, he responded with nuts. The Germans then stormed the command post and took no prisoners. For the next 3 days, the Germans fought in fierce house-to-house fighting to secure the town. On the 7th day of the battle, General George S. Patton and his 3rd Army arrived to relieve the 101st. What he saw was a scene out of a nightmare. There were corpses all over the town, and they were mostly Americans, as the Germans had taken no prisoners. And in a field on the outskirts of the town, they found a spot where the unsuspecting pathfinders of the Filthy 13 had jumped in to resupply the paratroopers, but were slaughtered by German AA fire. The Germans had moved on to Antwerp and left only 100 men to guard the town. Patton's men quickly dispatched with the Germans, but with the news that the Germans had moved on, the Allies in Europe surrendered on December 30, 1944, and all American efforts were now shifted to the Pacific, and all the German efforts were shifted to the Eastern Front. On November 11, 1950, Nazi Germany finally conquered Russia, and with all of Eastern and Western Europe under his control, Hitler quickly set his sights for the entire world, and by 1955, Nazi Germany's borders stretched around the globe, where they remain to this day.